accident just now. Well, a few minutes ago. Now trying to get you back.
Well, I mean, we can. I'm sure they'll join. If I think Auntie said that they're filming or something today. So,
Oh, they filming. Okay.
hmm so we'll see if we catch them or not. I think Auntie said she was going to come on anyway. So we'll see her.
Good.
So we're live, Grandpa. What? How are you doing?
Okay, I'm doing pretty well. Considering I'm hoping I'll do better, but right now I'm doing very well. Yeah. What about you?
Not bad. Not
Okay.
bad at all. Just
How about the baby Sebastian? How is he doing? No more problems?
Oh no more problems. He's doing good. He's doing
Oh,
good.
that's
But
everybody
well,
doing.
let's
Ashley, Cole, everybody doing good.
yeah yeah.
Okay, very good. That's good. Good to hear.
Well, let's
Okay,
be let's
on, eh? Well, let me.
yeah.
I finally got around to the ice house, 5.5% alcohol by volume,
Mm.
and I got that 24-ounce can you I've been at for about a month. You had two of them, and there were two still down there. It's nice and cold. It's ice brewed for a bolder taste. Plain road. It's what is it? Ice brewed. Let's see. It deserved it's cold enough. It deserved a good tumbler. So I brought the
Oh,
almost broke. I was gonna say I I done done broke Hank's statue. I gotta eventually reimburse him for that. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, Ice House, 5.5% alcohol volume.
yeah, you're finally getting to the ice house. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's probably reading off there. Yeah, the Ice House. That's why I went and got the nice tumbler I wanted to drink out of. It's because it showed a nice head, but I almost broke the tumbler.
Mm.
Well, it ain't a tumbler, it's a tumbler. What do you call it? It ain't. It's glass, but
It's a glass.
it's a
It's a cup.
glass. But I'm trying to figure. It's not like the regular glass. It's what do you call them?
Crystal.
Crystal. Hey, funny thing. You said crystal, and that's the name of this glass. It's a crystal.
See, it was perfect timing. Is that an ice house?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. See that head on that glass there?
I see the head. I
That's gonna
do.
that's gonna be a good taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
buddy.
Okay.
Ooh.
Carry on. Who's
Let's
next
see.
on?
She got her movie star face on.
I ain't got
Oh,
nothing on but eyeliner.
You see, that's all you need though.
Eyeliner and a little mascara. That's
Look
it.
at her. She about to
I,
be in a major. She about to be in a major motion picture, y'all.
right. I
yeah.
have to they gonna record me in a little bit, so I had to take my glasses. I put on my contacts because I get too much of a glare, and I ain't want to not represent the family well and be out there looking like I usually do. So yeah,
You were into bodybuilding, right?
I did it. I did a figure competition.
Yeah, because I didn't know nothing about it. And Blanche was saying, I said, I ain't never seen you in no bodybuilding competition.
Yes, you did, pops. Let me pull up the picture.
You don't
I
remember when
ain't
Auntie
seen all
was
that.
Miss
I
That
might
was
have
Universe?
missed it, but I ain't seen it.
that was what's crazy is that was almost nine. That was 9 years ago when I did it.
But I ain't seen it.
Yeah, that was a
Grandpa
that
was
was
a
a
Grandpa was a young man in
That's the best.
'84 back then.
That's the best part of my memory. What happened a long time ago. Something I ain't seen it.
Let me see. Let me pull them up. It was actually 9 years ago last week.
Oh, it was?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me pull them up. I got second place in my division.
Yeah. How about that?
To be fair, it was only 3 people, but hey, I still take it.
That's right.
At least you weren't
I
You
last.
got second.
was
It ain't
last.
bad. Second out of 3. He ain't bad at all.
Man,
No.
what I feel bad for that person who was 4th out of 3.
Wow. Wow. Let me
Did I
show
ever
you. Pops.
did I
I
ever
thought you.
did I ever tell you? Why you looking for that out? Did I ever tell you the story when I was in high school? I was on a track team, I think 7th grade, right? And this what when I brought up 453, this is what I mean. You know how it's like, what is it, 5 or 6 lanes on the track in high school?
I don't remember.
I
I
think
don't
it's I want to say it's 6, right? So
Okay.
we're doing like the what is it, 100 yards, 100 meter. I can't
Okay.
Yeah,
remember 100 yards, 100 meter. So I'm in that event and I'm running, and I came in. If it was 6 people, I came in 7th place.
Mm.
And here's what happened. There was a plastic grocery bag that caught in the updraft of the people ahead of me, and
No.
it crossed the finish line before I did. And I remember my coach told my mom, because they went to high school together. It's like, your son came in 7th place, right?
Now, when I was younger, well, I guess my junior high school boyfriend, he played basketball, but he went to another school. So whenever I asked how was the game, he would say they came in second place. I'm like, you come in second place in the basketball game? Okay, all right.
I
Okay,
like that. That's
okay.
that's creative right there.
Well,
Oh,
Pops,
he
you don't
didn't win
never
it, but
see
he
these
come in
pictures?
second place, even though they ain't but 2. First
Right.
and second. Oh,
Pops,
hey, wait a minute. Come on.
No, Auntie, if polar wind pops up,
ah,
Yeah, I was looking for my magnifying glass. Yeah. Hey,
you know
how
he
about
like
that?
he like his Ethiopian skinned women.
look,
Oh
Yeah, that's
man,
that's all right. That's nice.
thank you.
Real
hey, Auntie,
nice. Yeah.
dude, you had the side ab, like the side little cut right on the side of the rib cage, man. I know you were like you were eating
Yeah.
nothing but vegetables and stuff to get that.
You know what's crazy is a couple things. One, I would say I'm fortunate to have a decent stomach, even still now. So I'm fortunate with that. Two, it was crazy how people kept talking about my stomach that day. I was like, I guess I'm just used to it. But three, I hired a coach to do it. And the diet she had me on towards the end, the diet was so strict. It would say stuff like 4 ounces of salmon and 10 almonds. 10. I had to sit there and count my almonds. Like, what? It was so doggone strict. I couldn't chew gum the last few days. Like, it was crazy. Nephew, what you drinking? I see Pops
Oh,
got ice house because he don't like himself.
Yeah, I
that's
got
part of
I
Grandpa's.
just had him. Guys
That's
brought
part
it
of
out
Grandpa's
here.
health routine, just to stay here. What is it? Hold on.
What you got, Josh?
I didn't have a chance to go to get some beer, but I do have some of this monkey shoulder. I'm
Woo, child. It's going to be a good
Oh,
show.
okay.
It's going to be
Look
a
at
good
y'all.
day.
gonna put a little bit in here because it's a work day, just a little bit, just
Look.
a smidgen, just a smidgen.
So it sounds like they're taking their break from recording. So they probably going to eat because I made lunch. But you know your uncle / son gonna probably try to jump in here real quick. And especially since I grabbed the new beer from one of our favorite breweries that's local.
Uh-huh.
The brewery is Hailstorm, and this is a hazy IPA. It's only 6.7 though, 6.7%. I want to get something light. Because like you said, it's the middle of the that doggone work day.
You said
Sometimes we
6.7.
drink, yes, sir. It's just 6.7%.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That's a
Look at
good.
that head, Pops.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, it looks good there, huh?
Oh, that's
Yeah, all right.
beautiful. That is beautiful, Pops. That's how a beer's supposed to look. Hold yours up compared to mine.
Can you
Look
see
how
mine?
yellow yours is.
I gotta turn my light on now.
You gotta turn his light on.
You turn the light on or turn it off. Black light,
Right,
red light, yellow light.
It look the same now.
That beard would never look good. It does not look good.
It's
This
still,
is
it's still far from the orange. Ain't it?
This is how a
Hey,
beard's supposed to
Hey,
look.
Auntie, Grandpa said your beard's looking like second place right now.
Let's see. Let me do my pre-rating. Not that much of a smell. But since it's a hazy IPA and it's hailstorm, I'm already giving them a 6.5 because I like them.
Okay. I don't think I
Oh,
put
that's
another one. I'm gonna put mine at 6.5 too.
You are not. Oh my goodness.
Ice House is on the same level you say.
Freddie Taylor. Come here. So your daddy does not love himself. He's drinking an Ice House. And he rated it 6.5. Lies you tell.
Ice House.
I give it 6.5 because it's been in that refrigerator since Joshua brought it there.
Oh my gosh. Ice House should be like 0.5 at best.
Go water the grass with it.
Right. I told him, I said, hold yours.
I don't want to keep the grass that good now.
I said, this is how beer's supposed to look. He told me, let me turn my light on. I don't care how many lights you turn on.
Uncle Pooh.
I'm gonna have to come and bring you some good beer.
Oh,
Hey.
Hey, I'm open to it. Me and Josh had some good beer. What we have, Josh, the other day?
Shoot. We had some moose head.
Moose head, yeah, we had moose head. Yeah,
That wasn't bad. I'll stick up with Grandpa on this one. That moose head that we got was pretty good.
It is.
Okay.
We drank the whole pack.
That don't mean nothing. Pops is sitting there drinking Ice House.
Ice House.
He will drink anything. I am convinced he will drink anything other than good beer.
I might have to go back to that liquor store next year and get some more Moose House. That Moose House is pretty good. They talk about his Uncle Grandpa. They say our Moose House wasn't good.
That they could eat. They talk about me. So the family loves when he gets to record because I always provide lunch for the camera crew and for the team. So that's the only time I provide lunch during the week. So when it's people here, they be excited like, "Oh, what are we getting for lunch?" Because I don't feed them during the day.
I thought you were calling the camera crew the family.
They are too. We love them. Y'all want to meet them?
Sure. We can always have more guests on the show.
Oh, you got a camera crew now too?
Yeah. They want to meet y'all.
Oh, you kind of, yeah. Hi.
Legendary 93.
Oh my
Yeah.
Great things.
Okay,
Yeah,
you got my name.
Which one is 93?
I didn't.
Okay.
What's you say?
We're gonna have to
I
get
missed that. I don't hear too well.
Yeah.
So, Pops, they were saying that they want to get you in on a shoot one day. So
Oh,
maybe
yeah,
the
okay,
next time they
yeah.
come in, because they come like every 3 months, every few months. So maybe next time y'all will come here, or maybe we'll just come to Detroit and the shooting could be done there. That might be fun.
Yes,
okay.
yes, absolutely.
If y'all need to be there, maybe I can me and Grandpa can do what we normally do, go on road trips. I'll just drive them on down.
But no, that's what I said. We could just come to Detroit because then they could shoot in the house where he grew up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be
We
really
talked about it in contact. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Sounds like a date.
Y'all want to be to join the show?
We working.
They working. They
No
can't.
beer yet.
You said whose house?
What'd you say, Pops?
You said whose house where you grew up? Talking about me?
No, your son, Freddie.
Oh, I thought you talking about I
Grandpa.
was gonna say they demolished that whole block. Yeah.
Grandpa, I was confused too. I was like, Grandpa, when did you buy that house?
Right. No.
You talking about where I'm at now? I'm a homesteader here.
Well, hey, you probably never heard this story, but Grandpa used to tell us that he used to pay like $5 a month for his mortgage or something like that. It was crazy.
Oh wow.
No.
They
Remember you
got
said like the mortgage was like $5?
What area?
$5.
What was
Yeah,
the
something like that.
cheapest you ever paid for the mortgage? What was your lowest mortgage payment?
No, it was $50. 50 plus your taxes if you're on the house.
Oh, plus taxes.
Wow.
But
How much
they
for
went up,
taxes?
man. Taxes went up. And then it came to 73. I almost couldn't hold on. You may think it's funny though, but there's a lot of empty houses when they went up. That's for real now.
Oh my goodness, y'all see this? Y'all see this beer he got? Pop, show him your beer. Talk about he got the good
Ice
stuff.
house.
Oh wow. Quality.
Wow.
Talk about that's the good stuff.
I'm gonna bring you some good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I've been had it now. Every time it come up,
What's say,
now
Pop?
I'm in the good guy's house. I got it now though.
You should not.
That's terrible.
You should
Yeah.
not. Love yourself more, Pop. That I
Don't
don't
think Grandpa. I got some Ice House for Grandpa because we were supposed to do another malt liquor episode.
Oh yeah.
no. Ice House is not the boogie. I done threw my camera all off.
Well,
Yes,
this
we were
Ice
just
House
talking
is
about
good.
y'all.
Hey, Auntie, can you give us a quick update? Did your tree in the backyard get any other tree pregnant in the neighborhood?
No, I don't think so. We haven't gotten any claims yet. I will let you know if we have to claim. So, Pop, so when Joshua and the family were here, our backyard is covered with all this yellow pollen-ish type stuff, but it's not pollen. And this is the first year I've seen it do that. And it's even more out there now. So it's just, we've been trying to figure out what it is. And your grandson had a very disgusting answer about what it was that nobody believes.
Hey, I showed you the video. I showed you the video of it being factually a thing.
Well, what did he come up with?
Tell him, nephew.
Oh, I don't want to. So trees are living things, and living things can express themselves.
Oh yeah.
With their sexual organ. The tree ejaculated. The tree ejaculated.
Oh, okay.
No, it did not, Pops. Trees cannot do that. Trees do not reach climax.
And they don't.
You saw that tree shake, and then all the pollen came out.
No.
I don't know.
But it stopped falling now. But the yard, like Pops, if I took a picture and sent it to you, you can see like it's just this weird yellow stuff that fell. It was falling for days, just consistently.
Well, what kind of tree is it?
I don't know. A tree. A neighborhood tree.
I could kind of help you tell me what kind of tree it is. We can look it up. You know, everything on Google.
That's facts. But especially with this Android phone, we have Google Lens, and I can take a picture of it, and it will show me exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because y'all iPhones can't do that. So, but I don't know. I don't know if it was the neighborhood or what, because it's all over the neighbor's house. It's all over.
Oh, you think? But
It's
iPhone
not
can't do that.
No, the iPhone can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to spend $3,500 to get one of those goggles for it to do that.
Look, Pops, do you ever look through the family text thread and see how your sons bully me for having an Android?
No, he bully you about an Android.
It's all your sons. It's mainly Sean. It's.
I'll be catching some of them messages, you know. And John
you raised them better than that, Pops.
Maybe if you had something else there, an apple, maybe you could catch this, you know.
That's how they talk to me.
Yeah.
And then Joshua's wife, and that's what I'm gonna call her from now on, the girl. Joshua's wife wants to chime in on it. Yeah, just tragic. You raised them better. Y'all raised them better than that.
Yeah.
I know that. So what was the title for today? I didn't even see.
Oh, don't complain.
Oh, where'd that come from?
That was the title. Don't complain.
Yeah. Well, I was I'm not sure if you heard about it, but you know the comedian DC Young Fly.
Yeah.
His wife passed.
Yeah.
I actually watched that video where he was talking at the funeral,
Mm.
and he was talking about how him and his family are like really like they have really strong faith, and he was talking about Genesis and how Joseph was getting tried and had to go through a bunch of stuff that God put him through, and he never complained, and he was just like basically his message was like you never know how bad someone else is going through in their
Yeah.
life, so don't complain.
Mhm.
And he was just like, he's like, you know, me and my wife had a relationship. We had 3 kids. Like, you know, I wanted 7 more, but I just didn't get it. He was telling a joke for that. But he was just basically talking about how he's like, I can't be out here complaining because you know, this happened, but you know, she's in a better place. She's, you know, and we raised our kids to be better and be strong, and you know, it's okay to be human and be sad, but you know, stuff just happens. Like she could have
You said
died
that was DNC.
never anything. It just made me think about it because I'm like, you know, me and Sebastian, you know, Sebastian was in the hospital last week,
Yeah.
and it made me think about, dude, this could have been way worse. Like
Oh,
I have nothing to
yeah,
complain about. I got my whole family here. We're good. Everyone's healthy, and it just made me think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I will say this. So, Pops, his name is DC Youngfly.
Yeah,
He's a comedian.
yeah.
What's his name?
DC Youngfly. I'll pull it up.
I never heard of him. He's a
Yeah,
comedian.
he's been on a show called like Wild and Out, and he was really big on the internet before that.
Oh, okay. See, I ain't never heard of him.
But yeah, here, this is him. You nephew, share it for me.
Oh, let me see. There we go.
So this is him.
Oh, okay.
I like him. Good guy. Good guy. But
He really like if people were saying if comedy doesn't work out for him, which it has been, then he should be like a mega church preacher because he was like he had charisma when he was talking about it. That was interesting.
yeah. But I'll say this. I just had this conversation with my clients because they've been going through, there's been a lot of loss in their families, a lot of health issues. And I don't know if I agree with the don't complain. I do agree with we never know what other people are going through. However, there's no comparison. We can't say, well, oh, I can't complain because somebody else did it. If something's not going well for you and it makes you unhappy, it's okay to acknowledge that and to sit in it. Because that's unfortunately, we compare ourselves to too much anyway. Because if we're going to say, at least I don't have it as bad as, that means that we can also say when somebody's coming to us when they're struggling, we're telling them that their problems aren't as big as ours, and we're minimizing and they don't get support. It's okay for everybody to have struggles and to be able to say, wow, this is what's going on. That's people's grief process.
It's like you say, it's good to acknowledge, but you don't have to complain when you acknowledge.
That could be part of my grief process. That could be, I can scream, holler, complain, bitch, whine, cry. I can do all of that. And then that's how I get to my acceptance. But for me to be told I can't complain about what's going on, that could be hindering my process or anybody else's process to get through. When people say I can't complain, yeah, you could. You could. Now, that doesn't mean you should linger on it, but I think complain is one of those words that has that connotation that it's something that they linger on to, hold on to, and last forever. But there's nothing wrong with complaining about something you don't like right then and there. Now, what should follow is some type of solution or resolution, even if it's grief. I'm mad about this, I'm sad about it, I'm scared about it. But I know that it's going to get better, whatever. But it's okay to be upset in the moment. And a lot of times people are afraid to admit that because and a lot of times people don't want to complain because they're afraid of being a burden to somebody else. And that in itself is unfair. That is unfair. That is unfair to you. If you are struggling, if you are upset, you have every single right to be upset about it. And you have every single right to get support from those around you because you will give them the same support. Thanks for attending my TED Talk. Because I'm gonna say something now, like, because what I absolutely know is that stress will eat your body up. And if
That's
something
true.
doesn't make you happy, like look at the damn beer I'm drinking, Silver Lining. I'm a
Mhm.
huge fan of Silver Linings. I created a whole deck of affirmation cards for mindset so you can look at things in a positive way. I absolutely get it. But it's okay with sitting in where you are before you get here. That's okay. Well, acknowledging it. All right. That's my second TED Talk.
Yeah, I dig it. You got anything you want to add to that, Grapple? I see your gears turning. Or are you good?
No, I'm satisfied with that explanation.
Okay.
About it. Complain and take it to the next level.
I think there are levels. Do you think? Well, let me ask you this: do you think that there are levels of complaining?
I do think there's levels to
Yeah,
complaining.
I agree with that too. I think there's levels of complaining. Because sometimes complaining can get so. What would be the word? Obnoxious? Would that be a word?
Yeah.
You get to
I think there are professional complainers, like people who just love to be upset.
Yeah.
I think that for me I know it's levels, because sometimes I try to talk, like when I'm by just me and Grandpa, I try to tell him about stuff that I'm thinking about, and like just to see his reaction on his face, I'm like, man, this I must be stupid.
But that was part of your process. You see what I'm saying? Imagine if you didn't have Pops to tell that initial issue to. It still was gonna bother you. It was still gonna bother you, and it was gonna possibly bother you longer if you had not said something. Like, and that's why, if y'all notice, I said with the complaint, whatever you don't like, there should always be a resolution or a solution that follows it. I don't like this, but it's temporary. The majority of the time, that's what it is. It's just a temporary issue. It's nothing I can change. It's going to get better. Whatever. But there's nothing wrong with complaining. Just don't keep. I can't stand when people complain about the same things over and over and over again and don't want to solve it. Like you said, some people just like to be unhappy. They like to get the attention from being unhappy.
Yeah, that's pretty much my opinion
I can
of
go
it.
along with that. Yeah.
And it goes back again to Pops. How were you 93, born during the Great Depression, and experienced all that you experienced, and still just so doggone positive all the time?
Am I positive? I think about all those. I was thinking about those days of depression.
Let's
Well,
see. I've known you
you make you
for.
a salad, you throw some mustard on that. They didn't have no mustard. You put a little vinegar on it. But you had the bread.
But honestly, Pops, I've known you for 29 years. I've been in the family for 25 years. I've only seen you upset once. Ever.
Oh, it don't show it.
No, it's like you are the epitome of this. You are the epitome of positivity and silver linings. And I just still say, like, how and why. I just think that's awesome. Because you've experienced all more than all of us in all of our lifetimes.
Yeah. You was talking about times. I think we were talking about it maybe last time. We were talking about China being humiliated.
Yeah.
And China said, and which it was a fact. China is not the China of today where they building and all that stuff. China was in an area of humiliation. They used to humiliate China.
Mm-hmm.
They gunboats and up and down the river, and they dictated everything that was going on. If something they didn't like, they would LC. And China saying, well, them days over. Hey, we up there now. We're world power just like you is.
Yeah.
China had some rough times, very rough times.
It was like I was there.
What you say?
It's like you say like you were there. Like, yeah, I was there.
Well, I mean, I can understand. Who was this? This one was it Pearl Buck? Who that wrote that about China? And I can't even think of the name of it. But during hard times, But I can associate with Chinese people during a period of time where it was real hard, hard times. I can kind of little sympathize with them because I can go along, where people didn't have, you didn't get no 3 meals a day,
Yeah.
You got what you could to survive,
But the difference between you and China is that you are like still super kind and positive, and China is a big old bully.
You think China's a bully?
You don't?
No, I think China's a blessing. That's been all them African countries.
Right? Like, wait a minute. What?
China is a blessing. They didn't build all those cities and bridges and roads and everything. And in fact, they're trying to intermarry. Huh?
That's a soft invasion.
Exactly. They are trying to take over. Do you think China did that out the kindness of their heart?
You say China's a soft invasion. Okay, let's put it like this. Right now, you take Rwanda, Kenya. You take all those major cities who got roads now that connecting these countries to each other. What did the Western world do for China? I mean, do for Africa, except take the resources.
I think you're confusing it. I'm not saying the West was any better. What I'm saying is,
China's building an infrastructure, and Africa definitely needs.
But they're not doing it out the kindness of their hearts, pops.
China's doing to Africa
what they ain't done nothing out of the kindness of their heart. Name me one thing that
Grandpa, you're comparing one evil to another.
Huh?
You're comparing one evil to another.
Grandpa, I'll give you a perfect example. The United States went into South America and built up a lot of infrastructure in a lot of those countries, right? And they're still in debt. And they're still in debt.
They didn't overthrow about 12 governments and put in their people who would, instead of having
what do you think China's doing?
Huh?
What do you think China's doing?
Thank you, nephew.
China's not. They don't interfere with their government. They're going in there.
If you do you not see there's actual news headlines of Chinese people becoming chiefs of African villages and African cities. Chiefs.
Say what?
There's actual news articles about how the Chinese are becoming chiefs of African villages and towns. Like they're taking the infrastructure so they can move in.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Or how about the Chinese workers that tie up the Africans who are there and beat them and sometimes kill them and treat them like slaves?
Wait. Let's go back. What has the Western culture then, the colonization? What have they done for Africa?
Grandpa, you're just.
Let's not talk about the Western countries.
Grandpa, you're.
Let's talk about how China is sneaking. I've said that for the longest. China hides under and hides behind the hatred for the West.
The only thing I mentioned in what China does is that you're connecting. There should be in the African nations now are trying to get this one thing, be a United States of Africa, and China is helping them to connect. Instead of taking the process and going to the sea, China's connecting these countries up where they can do business, but they want to do one thing.
They're not doing it. They're not doing it for the African people.
Just like the United States of America, United States of China.
But Grandpa, they're not doing it for the goodness of the people.
Right. This is all for the benefit of China. This is not like
here's the only thing that I'm saying here is, up until now, what has the Western done for?
Let's stop bringing up the Western.
They got to do
Grandpa, you just ignored.
You know what they did? They did exactly what China did. They steal, just like everybody else. You don't think China's stealing too?
And Grandpa, like they're forcing.
That's why the United States of Africa can stop that.
They did not stop it. They did not stop it.
Let me say this. You got 54 countries, and you got highly developed people going to try to compete with the. Say for instance, you pick a country like Zambia or something, and they don't have the skills to compete with these people. They come in there and tell them what they want, and they take it out. This is why come now. You got about 5 countries from Africa say, no, we ain't exporting no more. We're gonna have you, like say for instance, South Africa, you're gonna build us a factory. We're gonna take the lithium and we're gonna build a lithium factory. You ain't gonna take the lithium and go and export it out and all we get is what you got from the natural resource. We want some finished production.
Look, China just as bad as the rest of them. There's no respect, no concern for the African continent or people. Point blank in the period. China acts like everybody else, and they look at Africa as opportunity.
Well, it's definitely opportunity, but they're getting some result from the opportunity. They're getting
Grandpa,
roads they ain't never had. They're getting bridges they never had. They're getting high-speed trains they ain't never had.
That sounds like the woman who gets beat up, but at least her man take her on trips and buy her diamonds to keep her hair laid.
We just told you how they're. Grandpa, we just gave you concrete examples of how they're harming African citizens, outright killing them in some cases, taking over their land. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, there was a show on Discovery Channel. It was called. I forgot what it was called exactly. But it was these white dudes who are going to Africa who are trying to get gold.
People on there, on the internet.
Grandpa, hold on one second.
Listen to Chris Kringle. Listen to Norm Chomsky. Listen to Schmier Steimer from Chicago. Listen to Richard Wolf, who are on YouTube, and let them go in and then we come back and we can see where China stands in that. Now all these are philosophers. I mean,
Grandpa, we're telling you we have real life accounts of Chinese people killing, taking over land, and they're stealing. As a matter of fact, like I said, a few years ago,
I've been watching some of this stuff and listening, and the propaganda is going on. I heard a perfect example.
Propaganda.
Grandpa, this is not from American news sources. Okay. This is from world news sources.
What is your thing on What is your thing on the Ukraine?
What does that have to do with China and Africa?
It has everything to do with it because it's a new world order coming up.
But Grandpa, you're saying it's good to have infrastructure.
I want to point to propaganda. What do you think about?
Grandpa, you're saying it's good to have infrastructure on one hand, but it's okay that these Africans are getting killed on the other hand?
People getting killed in Ukraine, which should never been. It should never been there.
We are not talking about the Ukraine, Pops.
No.
People getting killed everywhere.
I'm saying, I asked y'all a question. I said, what do you think about the Ukraine?
I think it's none of our business.
We're
spending all this money over there when we got stuff over here to get paid for.
Why do you think they're fighting in the Ukraine?
Because Russia is trying to reclaim the Ukraine, and that would be like an advantageous position for them in that part of the world. And the other part of the world who is interested in that area don't want that because they don't want Russia to have a foothold there.
When the Soviet Union fell, this was in 89 or 90 or something like that. When the Soviet Union fell, they made a deal with the United States and NATO would not go any further than the Eastern German border. They knew all along when they started going into Poland and all those other countries which were formerly Soviet Union, when they had a coup, in the Ukraine, and they took out a Russian government. People don't want to half of them. That Ukraine is Russian people, and half of them speaking Russian. But the thing is, now we got these people dying they dying for nothing. They really dying for nothing because the United States has been telling their people to give up a lot of stuff to help out the Ukraine. When they blew up that pipeline that Russia had coming along there, and all that gas and oil that was coming from Russia got blown up.
Mm-hmm.
Western Europe suffered from that, but they don't care. All they want to do is continue this war with this military-industrial thing going on. They want more planes. They selling planes, and everybody getting rich, like they always been getting rich.
So, how does that impact China and Africa?
No, the China part. That's what I was saying about the impact. Why is all these African people stupid? Why are they all going for brick and getting out of them? They don't, because that G7 and everything. Not a whole southern hemisphere. You could take in fact, they were talking about the other day, Mexico refused to go to this conference in the United States that put up because they don't want to invite Nicaragua, they don't want to invite Venezuela, they don't want to invite Cuba. There's a division now between the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. I mean, it's getting serious. And I'm thinking, as far as China is concerned, all these, if you look on YouTube, all these African countries say we ain't stupid. We know what we're getting from China, but China making a deal. This black woman from she was um, African Union. They fired her for saying that things have to change. That over in Africa, they're gonna have to start negotiating. It ain't no United States telling you what you're gonna do, and that's where it's gonna be. They say, no, it ain't the way it is no more. They got all these resources and everything, and these Western countries was taking it out. France, England, they wouldn't be nothing without Africa. Because they're going in, but they've been getting these resources for nothing. But now if you get a United States of Africa where they got to go in there and bargain, then Africa will profit from that stuff. The lithium, the gold, the diamonds, the silver, the cobalt, the
And
iron.
China's still getting more. China is still taking advantage.
I'm not saying China is perfect. All I'm saying is China is helping to build an infrastructure.
They're helping themselves.
Exactly. They're building, but they're not helping.
Building this infrastructure, these black people keep people going. They going to school and learning. They learning a lot of stuff from China. When China
black people knew stuff for a long time. I mean,
what you say?
Black people knew stuff.
We didn't have to go to school for the stuff we already know. Like they go to school to learn the things that we just intrinsically know that we've passed down through generation by generation by doing and talking. We don't need to go learn this stuff from them.
From who?
China or anybody else.
They're going to all over the world and the infrastructure. Let's say, for instance, construction work. A lot of construction work like welding and a lot of mechanical stuff. Those people are learning now. They come in.
They've been doing that, Pops. Pops,
they know a lot of the stuff they get in these undeveloped countries.
No, Pops. When we were in Sierra Leone, I need to see if I have a picture or video. They always doing construction, but they had built their own scaffolding out of bamboo. You think that on the side of a mountain that they did?
I'm not denying what they can do and what they can do.
That we don't need China or anybody else to teach us that.
I just say China is building an infrastructure which Africa needs. And all those African countries now that are hooking up with China, because they tell the United States just not go and try to make a deal between, they're going to tell you what they're going to do, and that's it.
To me, it sounds like, I'm going to give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
When we were in Sierra Leone, one morning, I'm having breakfast with another lady from our group. This man walked by and he hears us talking. And he said, "Oh, are y'all American women?" And we're like, "Yes." Now, I'm sorry. Let me back up. As soon as he walked in the restaurant, every single African woman who worked there ran to him. Running, laughing, dancing, literally dancing. And I hear him saying, "Party in my room tonight, midnight, take off the clothes." And they just hee. Now they go back to work. Now he comes over to our table and he's talking. And he's telling us about how he sponsors them and their children for like $200 some a year. Okay. So in his head, he thinks he's doing something great. But what we absolutely know is that he's taking advantage of these women who are in this situation because it doesn't cost him anything to do so. And he's getting everything that he wants out of it. Do these women get to pay their bills? Absolutely. Do they get a few more luxuries than other people? Absolutely. But are they being respected and actually taken care of and cared for? Absolutely not. And that's what China's doing in the same instance. They are helping, they are doing, but they don't care about.
I'm looking at China building the infrastructure which they didn't have. And and it's going along with all these African states now who are lining up with China. They refuse to be accepted when the United States talking about the Ukraine and why come they got to pick an enemy. South Africa said this. They say when Mandela was in jail, Russia helped them with arms and Castro helped them with arms when they fought for 8 years to the South Africa. The United States would not even with Robertson. They wouldn't even put a sanction on South Africa to eliminate apartheid. That's why Nelson Mandela, when he got out, he said, "Your friends ain't my friends." He went straight to Cuba. He went over there and he thanked them. And he thanked Russia and all them for helping him get out of jail when the United States stood back there and looked at it, you know.
Pops, I'm not trying to say that America is better at all. Like the comparison, but to me, the comparison between China and America shows that you know that it's some trash. Because we know America is full of it too. But I got to get ready to go.
They all are. But one thing I'm really interested in, is the African unification and the building of an infrastructure. Once they get them cities and things, and that'll be one of the most pop continents on the face of the earth. They got 1.2 billion people, and they steady building roads and highways and docks and bringing stuff in, and they're going to compete on a regular basis. So China's doing something. Now, why come they hadn't been doing this all these years? When China was, like I said, it was humiliated. 1949, back, you go back and you'll find out Chiang Kai-shek was a nationalist. He fled to Taiwan. This is where this conflict come from. Mao came in, Mao took over. From 1949, they kept the Western world out of China. And they went for the 5-year leap forward with the iron, building iron and stuff and stuff. When they opened the door with Nixon, when Nixon opened the door because they wanted that cheap labor, which they got, they took the job from here and went over there and paid them people $3 an hour. But that intellectual property, technology, they signed that off on that. And they gave them people that. And that's why come China rising so big right now. China is going to build the the infrastructure that Africa can be part of a world power.
How do I do this?
There they are. But hey, I gotta get ready. Because we got some recording to do before I have a meeting. So I'm mad. We got to end. Well, I got to jump out, but I'm going to come back and check y'all out, see what else y'all chit chat about.
So I found an article from the Institute of, who is this from? The Institute of, let me just go back to the top. National Library of Medicine, right? This is the National Library of Medicine talking about how anti-Black racism in China is embedded in the Han Minzu racialist ideologies, which perceive Blackness as occupying the bottom of the racial totem pole. This is dating back in this. So this whole article is pretty long, but it starts off talking about how in the 1960s Africans were in China, and how even dates before that, how there was the Han or some dynasty came into Africa and took slaves and all that, and how Black people were seen as the bottom caste, and how when times get tough in China, that's when these racial crimes start.
Even down in South America, we on the boat.
But Grandpa, you can't make excuses. You can't make excuses.
When Paul Robeson had to leave the United States and he went over to Russia and everything, because he was not accepted in his own country. He went over in Germany, tried to live over there. They took his passport from him and everything. But China, right now, the situation now with the national China in Taiwan, when General Chiang Kai-shek left China and running and went to Formosa, it was Formosa then, and now it was Taiwan. But they didn't want no kind of a socialist programs in there. This is where the communists and the nationalists come in at. They didn't want no social programs over there. Just like they didn't want none down in South America. We done overthrew about 12, 14 countries because we didn't want no social programs over there. I mean, right there on YouTube, and these are people graduated from MIT, Harvard, all of them. They're telling the whole story, you know. That's why I was saying about the infrastructure. They're going to have an infrastructure in Africa to move, and this is why they want a United States of Africa. And if it wasn't for Muammar Gaddafi, they would have been further down the road to getting a United States of Africa. But they killed off Muammar Gaddafi just like they killed off Patrice Lumumba. They killed off, you name them. I can name you 6 leaders that they just killed off because they were trying to get a United States of Africa. But I'm not saying that China going to build a United States of Africa. And I know China making money. But the thing about it, China's building infrastructure. They're building the roads that go to the sea. They're building bridges across. They're building where you can intermix with Africa. they talking about building a road from Cairo all the way over to what? I can't think of the name of the country. Right down in the southern part down in Africa.
South Africa.
No, it's a little bit above where they were fighting over there, where Castro was fighting at Angola. Angola. They're trying to have an interconnection with Africa, so these countries can deal with each other rather than taking their stuff to the sea and putting it on the national market. You know, I mean, it don't sound like it, but I'm very interested in them building the infrastructure that needed, and they are doing that because otherwise they ain't did nothing all these years. I mean, literally nothing. You know.
That's fair, Grandpa. I'm just saying that they're not who you. The way you're portraying it, you make it seem like China is being actively helpful when they're not.
No, I'm not saying being active. I'm saying China making money, but they're doing Africa. Well, look, I want you to do this for me, please. Go on YouTube and get these African countries now who are embracing China's work building these roads and bridges. Because that's what they need. Right now, they got what is it? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And you got 15 more countries want to get into that thing to compete with the G7, which was G8, and they kicked Russia out and made it G7. Now you got 15 other countries trying to get into BRICS because what they want to do, the American dollar, and it was the dominant dollar in the market. But it won't be once they start. It won't be the dollar or what they call a reserve dollar. It won't be in the world. It'll be another group of people with what's going to dominate it, and they're doing it every day. They got this conference coming up in August. I can't think too well, but there's a conference coming up in August where you already got Mexico, Venezuela, or Brazil already in there. You got Nicaragua. You got Argentina. You got all them countries in that southern hemisphere want to join BRIC. They want to join BRIC because of the northern hemisphere is almost like divided. Mm-hmm. If you look in Europe, you find all the beautiful cities and everything. What do you find? You got problems down in South America. But now they're coming together with their own force. In fact, they want to make the dollar not be in the reserve dollar.
Reserve currency. Reserve currency.
Reserve currency, right. Mm-hmm. The dollar won't be the reserve currency. I think they see like the United States has $21 trillion in their deep what do you call it? Help me.
What is it?
$21 trillion United States. That's the gross. The
gross. Gross national product.
Yeah, GPD. Gross national product, GPD, right? China now has $17 trillion and they're rising. So their currency, they're gonna have their GDP gonna be bigger in a couple of years. It'll be bigger than the United States.
We'll see.
I mean, that's what where it's headed. I mean, and this is what people who are in the know, like I say, if you listen to try Richard Wolff first. Look on YouTube. Try Richard Wolff, and they'll try.
I'm not saying this. I'm not saying they won't overtake the dollar. What I'm saying is that China is not like this friend to Africa in the way that you're saying it is.
But why is all these African countries going to China? Tell me why. Everybody on Africa ain't stupid, right?
Doesn't mean it doesn't matter if they're stupid or not.
Ask me why are they hooking up with China?
I don't know. I don't have the answer. I don't know exactly, but from the outside looking in, from just looking how history has gone, like if you read, Uncle Pooper gave me a good book. What was it? Something about internet, like economic hitman or something like that. That book That book talks
I know
about how
they come in there and give you an option. You
yeah,
can either take this deal or we'll come in and overthrow you.
yeah, that's what I think is happening.
Now the hitman said it himself. It's on YouTube. He said, we did that in all these little small countries. We did it in Nicaragua. We did it in Panama. We did it in Honduras. We did it in Venezuela. They were going to put in a man with no association with the Venezuelan people and take out a man who was trying to help his people.
Yeah, well, I agree, Grandpa.
I mean,
We gotta continue this, Grandpa. I gotta head back to work in a second. We gotta continue this another time.
Oh yeah, okay. I'd be glad to, but I would like for you to just see where I'm coming from.
No, I hear what you're saying, Grandpa. I'll look it up. What you're talking about. Let's give our final thoughts.
Yeah. Okay, my final thought is I'm pleased with the African Union and the people who are waking up that Africa is one of the best continents. This is my final thought. That Africa is one of the best continents and then the biggest on the earth. The only thing wrong is they had no infrastructure. That's my final thought. Yeah, you ain't buying it.
I guess my final thought. I'm just going to echo the.
Your final thought, what?
I'm trying to think what I want to say. I guess my final thought is, I don't think China is a good guy trying to help Africa right now. I just think they're positioning themselves. I think that building infrastructure. I don't know how they're doing it exactly, but I mean, if they're building infrastructure, that's cool. But like, I do not believe that is for the benefit of the African people. I think it's for the benefit.
Okay, now that's your opinion. Well, let me ask you before you go, think about this. Why is all these African countries now switching to China for their infrastructure? And if you can ask me that, just ask me why all of them. I'm talking about Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, Sierra Leone, all of them. Tell me why. And these African people ain't stupid. They know China making some money, but they deal and they say China's giving them a fair deal, a fair shake. That's all I can say.
We'll never know that unless we actually knew what those deals were.
No, I'm just saying what I
ain't saying. I'll take that back. We will eventually know because history will play out and we'll see what happens.
I'm just saying though, these African people, now they got all these countries, everybody over there ain't stupid now.
I'm not saying anybody's stupid. I'm just saying.
But they all bringing to China.
We know the formula. We know how this happens.
But why would you say China ripping them off when all these people are going to China for help when they've been trying to get help from the colonialists, and they haven't been getting it? And now all of a sudden, China beginning to build an infrastructure.
Native Americans thought that the Pilgrims were cool people too, until they gave them those smallpox blankets and took all their land.
Yeah, they took it in China. I mean, in Africa too. Took all their land. Colonized. They took it in the 1884 Berlin Conference. They took over all of Africa. So Africans know who helping them, who ain't. China ain't never been no colonialist country.
I just told you that they came into Africa and took slaves too.
Huh?
China came into Africa and took slaves too.
You said what now?
China went into Africa and took slaves too.
No, Africa never colonized no parts of Africa. Show me one part of Africa was colonized.
I said China went into Africa and took slaves too.
Well, I mean, maybe the Muslims over in the Middle East took slaves, and we took slaves. We had white slaves and all that too. Now history is
Grandpa, you know for a fact that slavery ain't the same slavery that I'm talking about.
The same slavery you're talking about.
Yes, chattel slavery.
I know this. The slavery from the West Coast. Let me say this, and you can go. The worst slavery in the history of the world, which they never have nothing to compete nowhere with it, was the Western Africa that brought the slaves over to the Americas.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
there was 100 million people crossing the Mid-Atlantic.
All I'm saying is
nobody can compare with that.
I do not currently have enough information to dispute that China has never colonized Africa in any way, but I'm sure just like how there's anything else, the internet is here, and I will look it up. But if they haven't done it yet, they're doing it right now. That's my belief. That is my belief.
This now. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna let you go. But would you have next week? Let's talk about Africa. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay,
Would you agree with that?
that's fine.
Africa and the African infrastructure.
Okay, we can do that.
Mamas and the I can name 5 or 6 Africans who doctors got their doctor's degree and they talking and they're saying it's got to be a change.
Okay, well, we can do
Yeah.
that, Grandpa. But I do got to go for real now.
Yeah, okay.
I'll see you.
Thank you. Thank you.